Internet, devices, and information technology have empowered citizens. However, these have also created challenges, in various forms. Hello and welcome to MindSync, your compliance guard. I am Swati from MindSync. The Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology proposed to introduce new Act, the Digital India Act 2023. The new digital law should be adaptable and consistent with the changing market trends, technological disruption, growth in international jurisprudence, and global standards for high-quality service or product delivery frameworks. The goal of the proposed act is to eliminate the loopholes in the Information Technology Act and help India build a more stable and secure digital ecosystem. MindSync has come up with this video, with all the latest updates on the proposed Digital India Act. The Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology plans to introduce a new act, and for this, presented a proposal for a Digital India Act 2023 on the 9th of March 2023 during the Digital India discussions. The ministry plans to replace the existing Information Technology Act 2000 with a new and more significant act, that is Digital India Act. The Information Technology Act 2000 was created in the early years of the Internet and is 22 years old. In 2000, before India went digital, provisions were made for the nascent IT ecosystem, because there were no modern internet-based services like e-commerce or social media platforms. The Information Technology Act was enacted in the year 2000. Since then there have been many revisions and amendments like the IT Amendment Act 2008, IT Rules 2011. Although the IT Act has been revised over the years, it still fails to properly address all aspects of the current cybersecurity landscape and data privacy rights. The limitations of the Information Technology Act are lack of comprehensive provisions on user rights, trust, and safety, limited recognition of harms, and new forms of cybercrimes, without any institutional mechanism for awareness creation. Lack of distinct regulatory approaches for harmful and illegal content. Lack of adequate principles for data or privacy protection. Absence of adequate regulations to address the regulatory requirements of emerging technology, assessments of high-risk automated decision-making systems, modern, digital businesses including monopolies and duopolies. Lack of a converged, coordinated, and harmonized institutional regulatory body, a dedicated and efficacious investigatory or enforceability, and a swift adjudicatory mechanism. Lack of coordinated cybersecurity incident response mechanism. The IT Act would fall behind the increasing complexity and frequency of cyber attacks, which requires a complete replacement of the governing digital laws. The current regulatory landscape, covered under the ambit of Information Technology Act are Intermediary Guidelines and Digital Media Ethics Code, Certifying Authorities Rules, Indian Computer Emergency Response Team, Cyber Appellate Tribunal, Procedures and Safeguards for Blocking Rules, Use of Electronic Records and Digital Signatures, Reasonable Security Practices, and Sensitive Personal Data or Information Rules. Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology plans to introduce the Digital India Act 2023, which will replace the decades-old Information Technology Act 2000. The Digital Personal Data Protection Bill 2022, which was introduced in November 2022, together with the Digital India Act 2023, are intended to be implemented together by the Indian government. The Act is going to address a wide range of issues, including artificial intelligence, cybercrime, data protection, deepfakes, competition between internet platforms, and online safety. The Act will cover in its ambit all the social media platforms, over-the-top, OTT platforms, and online apps, along with Web3 application, including metaverse and blockchain. Crimes that will take place on social media platforms, such as Twitter, Facebook, and metaverse will fall under the purview of the new Act. Further, any content guidelines violations by OTT platforms, including spreading misinformation or inciting violence, will also fall under the Digital India Act purview. The Digital India Act aims to promote the development and deployment of digital technologies across different sectors. And for this, the Act has set certain key objectives, which are ensuring that the Internet is open, safe, trusted, and accountable. Accelerate the growth of innovation and technology ecosystem. Manage the complexities of Internet and rapid expansion of the types of intermediaries. Create a framework for accelerating digitalization of government and to strengthen democracy, governance, and government-to-citizen services. Protect citizens' rights, address emerging technologies and risks, and being future-proof and future-ready. According to the proposed Digital India Act, it is likely that the Act will include guiding principles and will encompass a broad range of essential goals, such as ensuring an open Internet, online safety, trust, and accountability and quality of service, adjudicatory mechanism, and new technologies. All these are going to be the primary focus areas of the new Act. Let's know more about each of them in detail. Emphasizing the need for an open Internet, it should offer choice, competition, online diversity, fair market access, and ease of doing business and ease of compliance for startups. Providing fair trade practices by prevention of concentration of market power and gatekeeping, it is a security feature in an operating systems, distortions through regulation of dominant ad tech platforms, app stores etc., promoting Startup India by way of non-discriminatory access to digital services and interoperable platforms. Safeguard innovation to enable emerging technologies like artificial intelligence and machine learning, Web3, autonomous systems, or robotics, IoT, or distributed ledger, or blockchain, quantum computing, virtual reality, or augmented reality, real-time language translators, natural language processing, etc. Promotion of digital governance through ease access to government and other public utility services, delivery of public services through online and mobile platforms in a simple, accessible, interoperable and citizen-friendly manner. We need to update provisions in the Competition Act, 2002 under the new Digital India Act. The new legislation is expected to have a focus on user harms, taking various forms, particularly unique to the Internet. Therefore, adjudicating user harm against revenge porn, cyber flashing, dark web, which is the hidden collective of Internet sites, and only accessible by a specialized web browser, women and children, defamation, cyberbullying, doxing. It is the act of revealing someone's personal information online. Salami slicing is a type of cybercrime in which an attacker steals the money in small amounts, etc. Age gating, also known as an age verification, is a technical protection measure used to restrict access to digital content from those who are not of appropriate age. On online safety and trust, stresses the need for age gating by regulating addictive tech and protect minors' data, safety and privacy of children on social media platforms, gaming and betting apps. Mandatory do not track requirement to avoid children as data subjects for ad targeting, among others. Under the Act, user will be granted certain digital user rights including right to be forgotten, right to secured electronic means, right to redressal, right to digital inheritance, right against discrimination, rights against automated decision-making, etc. Discretionary moderation of fake news by social media platforms should be critically examined and regulated under the constitutional rights of freedom of speech and expression. It should be strictly prohibited to use false information as a weapon in the name of free speech. Definition and regulation of high-risk artificial intelligence systems through legal, institutional quality testing framework to examine regulatory models, algorithmic accountability, zero-day threat and vulnerability assessment, examine AI-based ad targeting, content moderation etc. Privacy-invasive devices such as spy camera glasses, wearable tech, should be mandated under stringent regulation before market entry with strict know your customer requirements for retail sales with appropriate criminal law sanctions. Secure cyberspace by empowering agencies like Computer Emergency Response Team, CERTIN, for cyber resilience, strengthening the penalty framework for non-compliance, advisories on the information and data security practices, etc. Content monetization is the act of making money from digital content that user create, whether it's text, videos, podcasts, images, or something else. Content monetization rules shall be formed for platform-generated and user-generated content. The proposed act will offer adjudicatory and appellate mechanisms for accountable and responsive digital operators. Updated intermediary framework, obligations on significant digital operators through classification or mandates. Algorithmic transparency and periodic risk assessments by digital entities. Accountability for upholding constitutional rights of the citizens, especially Article 14, Right to Equality, Article 19, Right to Freedom, and Article 21, Right to Life and Liberty. Ethical use of artificial intelligence-based tools to protect rights or choices of users. Provision of deterrent, effective, proportionate, and dissuasive penalties, etc. Whole-of-government response for a unified, coordinated, efficient, and responsive governance architecture, including an effective appropriate government structure, a dedicated inquiry agency, and a specialized dispute resolution or adjudication framework. Disclosure norms for data collected by data intermediaries collecting data above a certain threshold. Standards for ownership of anonymized personal data collected by data intermediaries. The Act has come up with the need for responsible and ethical use of online technologies. The government is reconsidering a key aspect of cyberspace, safe harbor, which is the principle that allows social media platforms, that is so-called intermediaries, to avoid liability for posts made by third-party users. Safe harbor has been restricted in recent years by regulations like the Information Technology, Intermediary Guidelines, and Digital Media Ethics Code Rules, 2021, which require platforms to take down posts when ordered to do so by the government or when required by law. The safe harbor immunity that protects online intermediaries from liability for content violations caused by third parties would be removed in cases of intentional misinformation or other content violations from third parties. Stay tuned with MeitY to get all the latest updates. Get in touch with us for all your business compliances. Thank you.